This BizNews production is brought to you by Brenthurst Wealth. Building wealth and protecting legacies since 2004. Invest better with Brenthurst.
Iraj, that's moving, that's insightful. We're all far better informed, but we also don't have much time for questions. Now, I need to throw something at you because it occurred to me as you were talking that when Nick Hudson yesterday was telling us about these super powers that were manipulating things, it sounded a little bit like there could be something happening here. In 1979, you explained that those four countries got together, installed the mullahs, and quickly got their butts kicked, and now we are the consequences of that. Is what Trump did being manipulated by some dark forces?
Well, that's the American politics. American politics could be the dark horse. I think if Trump has got his own way without restraint, together with Netanyahu, they know what they face. All the information, and it's, in fact, better than President Trump is the Secretary of State, which for 13 years has been in the Senate chairing the committee that had every report about the Iranian regime. He is the most informed and the most knowledgeable about the risk of this regime surviving. President Trump, obviously, his own mission, his own views, his own approaches, but I can trust more the Secretary of State to come to making reasonable decisions.
So the way you've outlined it, this is a fight to the death.
Yeah, it is fight to the, because for the mullahs, this is not a materialistic thing. It's not a question of rational choice, cost-benefit analysis. They have a mission in life. God has given them a wealthy nation. What else do they want? And then they got it. They must fulfill their mission. And as one of them said, if it means that in confrontation with the hegemonic imperialist secular world, they have to sacrifice 89 million of the 90 million population of Iran, that's a little price to pay, because there will be 1 million left to say we are victorious. That's the mindset. It is not about what I hear in the people, that for their own sake and for their own head, they'll come to their senses.
And South Africa's position here, as you were talking as well, I was thinking, it's well documented that South Africa is, if not a criminal state, not far from it. Now, if democracy can be hijacked by religion, can it not be hijacked by criminality?
It can, particularly when political parties are structured the way in terms of the constitution they have power. You don't have to capture the government. You have to capture the political party that is in charge of government. And if you capture the heart of that party, then you do what you like. And we saw it under President Zuma's reign as a president. Even political party, ANC, didn't agree with him, but the core party bosses were in the back pocket of the criminals, and the rest is history.
So what are the warning signs, or are we already too far? We heard from Magnus, for instance, just walk down Johannesburg and you'll see that's or Hillbrow, and that's the reality of where we've got to.
No, I don't think so. I think South Africa has got a constitution that allows different social stakeholders, particularly judiciary and political parties, pushback. Secondly, I'm not as pessimistic or haven't lost hope on South Africa's ability to push back if the society, and particularly if the business community. Some of you may have heard me over the years saying the stakeholder that is least quiet is the business community. Although they control the purse, they are quiet. And I don't know if you, and I don't want to mention names here, but so-called captains of industry sitting with the president, representing the few corporates. That's not the business community. They are taking care of their own corporate interests. And I've been in some of those meetings, how it pans out. If the business community becomes vocal, becomes patriotic, as they are, the majority of them, and makes the facts not ideology. The fact is that it's the business community that generates the money, the resources, the skills, whatever, whoever, whichever party wants, whether it's DA, EFF, ANC, whatever, all the manifesto that they want can only be delivered through the business sector broadly defined.
Theoretically, but in practical terms, there are cynics who say Iran has been paying that funding role for the ruling political party, and they are still ruling, even though it is a government of national unity.
Remember, in their view, it's not a bad thing. God has given them an endowment of a national. They have to invest. The first country that they invested in, by the way, was Algeria. They won the election. The French came out and did it overnight military. So it's not in their eye, the interpretation of bribing and doing. They say God has given us an opportunity to establish this pan-Islamic civilization to counter the East and the West. Where is our opportunities? Algeria was one. Kenya, they invested in it. So the interpretation of they paid the ANC, but the ANC was another useful instrument for them at the right time and the right place. If ANC becomes tomorrow nothing, they'll go to another source. In Sudan, they invested heavily. And this is a mission that is got apocalyptic religious content to it, with a lot of resources and with a lot of military. So I'm not surprised at all.
Are you surprised that the ANC has not changed its approach towards Iran, that it has not woken up to the fact that it is on the wrong side of history?
I think ANC, as we've seen it, like most other organizations, they take time to make a wrong decision and they make time to correct it. Their course correction is not quick. Look how long it took to accept that Zuma was corrupt and the country was being robbed in the daylight. But eventually, in 2017, ANC came out. How did it happen? Through two forces, through public discourses and through fact-based confrontation, if you like. I'm not talking about violent confrontation. I'm against violence, but against intellectual fact-based engagement. When they saw the facts, a lot of ANC people finally changed their position and they recalled Zuma.
Did you follow the story of Emma Powell? She was the international spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance, who said a few things about the ANC's relationship with Iran and got fired.
Yeah.
Have you followed that story? And does that not put the DA perhaps in some way complicit in this situation that we're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I operate differently than political scientists. After that, DA should have called the meeting and say, this is not our mission of, not just DA, all the other so-called members of the state of
GNU.
coalition and GNU. I can't understand, I can't credit any of them. Not ANC, not DA, not patriotic. None of them has expressed a view on this situation that I mentioned. And you don't have to be a super part or superbly endowed strategic unit to know what is happening. It's on the website. You spend 10 minutes, you can see it. Give me and millions of others a call. I'll give you all the data that you want. Don't believe me, check the facts. DA has been quiet. EFF has been quiet. ANC as well, for reasons. The ANC may have a reason. Why is DA quiet? Why is ASCDP, religious group, why are religious leaders are quiet? Where are the churches? Where are the, why? I mean, how long human killing is human killing? Look at what I shared with you on our own history. Churches of all orientations were actively against apartheid. It doesn't take either as much deep moral conviction or anything else to say killing people is not the job of the government. In the name of God and in the name of religion is satanic. Never mind unacceptable. But churches have been quiet, or at least I've missed them. The Muslims, the Jews, the Christians, the Buddhists, all of them. What happened to our voice? What happened to our humanity? So it is easy and possibly, I don't have any evidence, as I've said, but it doesn't take too much to connect the dot, as the late Herwin Gordon would go on to told us. ANC was bribed. Were the churches bribed too? Was the DA bribed too?
Just to close off with, the situation inside Iran now. You have friends, you have family. What's the feedback from there?
First of all, feedback because of the internet and communication blackout is absolutely random. To just give you a personal view, since the war started, I've had 3 less than 30-second SMS and call with my sister and brother, because Starlink has arranged certain facilities, but they cut off after 60 seconds. So when my sister calls, all that she can say is that we are all alive and we're okay. And I talk to mommy and I talk to my brother and so on. When my brother sends a message, it has to be less than 30 seconds. Yes, I've got 3 of them since the start of the war, but that's the extent of communication that is allowed. So anybody who says what's happening there other than what you watch on the screens of the devastation, which grinds every cell in my body, not because of the bombing that over 9,000 of them have been thrown over the past 12 days, but to watch that for every bomb that goes down, some infrastructure, I'm an economist, so I think of the resource cost. I'm thinking of the people who die, and that they'll continue to die. This is not going to be a quick humanitarian, no matter which side wins. Heaven helps us all, and you can watch me here and hold me accountable to it. If the regime survives, no part of the world will be spared of its consequences, whether it be through indirects, through oil price, through cost of living, or through sheer terrorist activities.
What, if anything, can we do?
I think you've done, I must credit you, I've said in quiet or in private, I can say it in public. Business has been the only platform that has at least allowed a voice on behalf of the Iranian people. That is the minimum that we can do, and you've done brilliantly in comparison with all other things. So I think I can't dictate, but if I may humbly suggest, nothing would stop the business community in South Africa to issue a statement that what goes on in Iran is a humanitarian crisis that we cannot, as South African, align ourselves with it, as a business community, as a whatever grouping that you would want. I'm absolutely shocked and disappointed as an activist that I've been in the academia, in social communities and groupings. None of the human rights, none of the think tanks, none of the groupings, business, commerce, United and Ununited Business South Africa, none of them has issued a statement to say, hell, this is not human. We cannot watch and be quiet. Remember, please, what Sadi said. If you watch and you cannot relate to another humans, whether it's in Southern Sudan, whether it's in West Africa, whether it's Middle East, if you watch human pain, massacres vividly, not suspicion and speculation, actual, and you remain quiet, you cannot retain the name human. That's what drives me.
This BizNews production is brought to you by Brenthurst Wealth, South Africa's leading boutique wealth manager, trusted to guide families for over 20 years. Invest better with Brenthurst.